Hello everybody, it's me, and welcome back to another video. Now, in this video, I am, as you can read by the title and maybe the thumbnail, going to be ranking all the Varies, in my personal opinion, on their viability in PvP. Now, I've been wanting to do one of these for a little while, and I'm pretty excited to actually get into it. So, let me just fix that. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is the thingy that I'm using if you want to use it too. Alright, here we go. I'm gonna probably start off with Servolin. Now, I don't know exactly where to put Servolin. I'm probably gonna put it in decent, mostly because it can get walled out by a spirit type, which is not the best thing. Things like Isagul, Vesperatu, Revenine, Ursul, those things can counter this thing because, like I say, Ursul hard counters this thing if it's not already set up, because it doesn't have any super effective hits versus it. It only has Dark and Typeless, which is mostly what the Varies get, are those coverage moves. Only like 2 coverage moves, what I mean, not like Dark and Typeless. But yeah, I put it like there. It's decent. It's definitely not bad, but like I'm gonna put it there. I'm definitely gonna put it in. I'm just gonna make it like C, B, A, and D. There we go. That's so much better. Now we have Gwendolyn. Now, okay. I've done a lot of opinions of this. I do not think Gwendolyn is that good. I feel like the only ways to really use this in high-level PvP would be as, like, a lead with, like, very nimble final ruse if they decide to lead off with, like, very smart Zulong or something like that. But the reason I don't think it is really good is because if you go to its stats and you look at the stats, let me pull up the stats real quick. And if we pull the stats up here, we can see, like, its melee attack and its speed are really, really good. Its range attack could be better. That's all that's good about it. That's it. Its health is miserable. Melee defense is very, very bad. Range defense is okay. Like, you take like one, like, maybe neutral hit, maybe one super effective non-stab move like Protogon's Energy Surge, maybe, but it just can't swap into anything. It has a pure spirit, meaning that you are weak to Ancient, Light, and correct me if I missed any. Those are the only ones I can really remember. And since you're weak to those, you are weak to Clips, which is really bad. You're weak to Vesperatu, Ursul, and Revenine. Unless you're running very nimble Gwendolyn, then you can hit Revenine, surprisingly. And you might be thinking it's a spirit type, so to swap it versus like a brawler move, you can hit it really effectively. That's the only thing it's good for, but most brawlers are melee right now, and those that aren't, like let's say, Mocho with Boom Bash, it's going to be able to hit it with a Frost Beam because it's already stacked up. So, I just don't think it's very good. I think you could just use it as, like, a revenge killer, like a very brawny revenge killer. Or brawny nimble with Sprint or something, or very nimble with Final Ruse. I just don't think it's that good. But yeah, I just don't think it's, like, super good. And with Kirolan, I think I can put it in the same tier as Servolin, maybe up in B tier. Now, okay, I'm putting Kirolan up here because, okay, if we go to Kirolan, right, now, it kind of has the same problem that Gwendolyn does, that it can't tank much attacks, but it has a much better defensive typing, being able to resist electric, plant, and fire. And I think I can resist other things, but it's not coming to my mind right now. And since you're only weak to light and metal, that's really good, because light and metal are not very common typings that I see very often. And with your good speed stat, you could run, like something like that. And then you could outspeed everything in the game after 1. But the problem is, its abilities aren't that good. I think it's Territorial, Devious, and Hasty. Now, you could use Territorial just so you don't miss any attacks and you can get some extra damage, but then you don't hit opposing genders you don't hit opposite genders very hard, which is not that good. Devious is, like, there, so things like, let's say, Volkloa that come in to absorb a Fire Slam or something that could be immune to Rough Up someday. Devious could be good then. Something like that comes in. then that's pretty much like the only thing Devious is good for. Hasty is probably your best bet if you just want to run a really, really offensive one. And its melee attack is just really, really, like, it's good, you know? Sorry, I had to do something. And because of the melee attack being as good as it is, you can just run a very brawny one with, like, Hasty and Adaptive Assault. You got a really strong wall breaker in hand. That's why I don't think it's entirely bad. It's just Hasty makes it a real RNG fest. But that's what I love about Loomian Legacy, is all the luck involved in pretty much everything you do. So I feel like I can confidently put it here. Just, like, I feel like it's better than these two. It can 1v1 them both pretty easily unless you get a flinch with this thing, which is not fair. And now it's Zephalin. Now, I think I could put Zephalin, like, maybe in the same tier as Kirolan. I feel like the Varilutions got better as they went on. But, to me, Zephalin is is pretty good. Now, you might argue that it could be the worst, and I can say that it could be. I'm not sure. I'm gonna move this thing around down to C, because of its ability, it turns typeless moves into air type moves and boosts their power. Or you could run sharp focus, but it doesn't get any moves like that. And then what else does it get? I forgot its other ability. But you have typeless, air, and earth as like your only coverage. Earth is there so you can hit like metal types, and what else would you hit? I don't know. It just gets walled out by like Himber, gets walled out by Ignorant Wobelisk. Like anything like that will completely wall out your Zephalin. And with ice types kind of running around like Festifer and range tanks, for example, they can take it pretty well unless it's already set up, then you're gonna die. But like it just has a lot of counters. Like if you just bring an ice type and you're safe from this thing, that's why I usually have Festifer. And yeah, I just don't think it's very very good. I'm not sure. I don't know why I keep saying it's not very good. Zephalin's good. It's just gets walled out by too many things. That's like pretty much it. But its damage output is really impressive. And if we go to the stats of Zephalin, like I think it's, I don't know. I feel like you could run like Nimble, like Clever or something. What is this? Would that get part of a range attack? It doesn't. Wait, no, what am I doing? You could run something like that with speed and something. But yeah, it also has Resonate, meaning if you had a chance to up the ranged attack. Just a chance. But like, Zephalin is kind of a weird one because it just gets walled out by a lot of things and people don't consider it very good. Just because of pure air, you're weak to electric, ice, and I think that's it, electric and ice, which a lot of those moves are running around. And yeah, it also just does not have the bulk because of 70 health. It's not the best. Has good melee defense, but really bad range defense. So, like, it's like, I don't know. You send in a ranged wall, then attack on the range side. It's over. And Venolin. It's A tier. Venolin is just the best Vari in the game. Venolin is so good because, okay, if we come over here, look at these stats. If we look at these stats, they're really good. The health is pretty good. The energy's good. Melee attack, pretty bad. We don't use melee attack. Melee defense, you know, it's like there. 101 range attack, pretty good. Very, very solid. 122 range defense, oh, that's amazing. And then 61 speed. So you can already tell it's meant to be a ranged tank that attacks on the range side. Now, people might argue that Gas Stroke is a little bit better now that it has Muck Blast and such. But the reason that Venolin is really good is mostly because of its ability, Devious. Now, if I can find Devious, what that does is that, say a Stratosaur comes in to absorb a toxic type attack, because you're a toxic type, because, you know, it can do that. Devious will bypass that, right? It'll bypass it, so then you can hit Stratosaur. Because you get Toxic, Typeless, and Earth as your coverage moves. And, like, as you can see, that gets completely walled up by Stratosaur if it's an SA Stratosaur. But with Devious, you bypass it. Basically meaning that both of your abilities don't do anything. But Devious does something. But yeah, that's why Venolin is so good, because it can poison basically everything in the entire game besides other toxic types. But toxic types don't want to swap in because they get hit by Mud Spatter. All those besides Swolder, which can act as a good counter to Venolin if you are worried about one, because of its melee attack and it being very bad at melee. Yeah, I just think Venolin's is genuinely the best Varilution, and everyone can agree with me. And it sparked ridiculously broken core of Venovent. Because Venolin checks everything that Ventation is weak to. It's really, really good. And now, I'm actually going to do Vari. I'm going to put Vari, like, down there. Like, adorable, very brawny body slam. That's pretty much all I can think of that Vari would do. You know what? Why not? I'm going to do that. Now, Wrestlin. I think I'm going to put this also at A. I think it's pretty good because of its ace ability. You just die to spirit types basically. Like, your only issue with Wrestlin, if we go here, like, those attacking stats are very, very, very strong. Plus, it has a perfect speed stat of 178 to where after, like, at this speed, you outspeed everything in the game. You outspeed a very nimble epidemic. You could definitely run Brawny, nimble with aggressive, probably their best bet. But if we go, let's try something here. So let's go make this 200, and then we do very Brawny with Brawler Essence. Then we give it Ace, and then we give it Adaptive Assault, right? Look at that. Like, that's neutral. What if we went to something like Ventation? Now, Ventation already has really high melee defense, so look at that damage. Like, this is as melee defensive as Ventation can possibly get. You're still 3-hit KOing it. You're gonna 4-hit KO it. See, like, that's really, really good. Like, and if you're at +6, the game's over. But yeah, if you can get bulk ups off, then it's just amazing. Wrestling is just really good. It's unfortunate because you do kind of die to Revenine because its coverage is typeless, Brawler, and Fire, which gets walled out by Revenine. So yeah, you want to be pretty careful of that. But other than that, it only having basically like 2 counters. No, not, yeah, 2 counters and like Ursul and Revenine. I don't think Ventation can really act as one because if you're running Dust, you could very easily just like stack, but you can get hit by Geyser. I mean, Tyrex could, not Tyrex cannot work. All right, and now we're on to the final one, Bozolan. Now I feel like Bozolan is gonna be put there. Like, I feel like it's at the point where it's good. Like, Bozolan is good. Like, okay, if you look at its stats, I feel like there's something different about Bozolan. Its stats are like all around there, you know, like you can see what it's meant to do. It's meant to be like a fast melee attacker. Then you go to its abilities being Sweet Scent and Vigorous and Marksman. Now with Vigorous, if I can find it, with Vigorous, if you are something like Burned and you're running 200 very brawny. And if we have our coverage moves in a, I'm sorry if there's noise in the background, I don't know what they're doing. And then you go something like Adaptive Assault, Baneful Bash, and Nosedive. Like, those are its coverage moves. Those are really good coverage moves. And it actually has it has a good speed stat because at +1, you don't have to invest that much speed. You can invest, like I showcased this exact set. Yeah, 112 speed, and then you outspeed everything in the entire game. With your coverage, it is really good, but because not many bug types can hit other bug types with Nosedive. It's like the one other one in the game that causes the recoil. So you could even run Cyclone Slam if you wanted to not have any recoil for more longevity. Or you pair this thing with a Health Gift, Wiki, a Segul, or Gobademic. It really depends, up to you. Gobademic's probably the best Health Gift user, unless you want to use Bane of Haste and then immediately Health Gift and use like a Brawny Robust, or like a Brawny Robust, very sluggish Bozolan, which you could do that too. But yeah, and if we go to Vent, and we yet again make it as melee tanky as physically possible. Look at that. Your attacks are going to still be doing a lot of damage. We could also go to another known melee tank that can wall out certain bugs. If we do this, do very robust, and then we go to Garbantus's ability of trash armor, and then we give it heavy armor. We still 2-hit KO it. That's still a lot of damage. Now, I just think it's like good where it is. Like, it's definitely not up there with Bozolan and Venolin, because Bozolan just does way more damage, is more reliable. I wouldn't say reliable, because like it just does more damage. Bozolan is kind of just like he's at that point where it can die to things like Ursol if you're not set up. Plus, with its nosedive and most priority users like Mutagon and Ursol, with Quick Punch and yeah, with Quick Punch, most Quick Punch users hit it really hard because of its frail melee defense and its bad health. But I like that health though. It's not bad. It's definitely not bad. It's definitely better than these guys. Maybe, not sure. I'm really considering where I'm going to put this guy. I really want to put him up in B, because I feel like it just does too much damage to not put up there. You know, you can't wall much out with Bozolan, but you can wear it out. Like, it has a high energy stat for a reason. Alright, but yeah, that is definitely going to be, I think I'm satisfied with this list. Let me know what you would rank all these guys in Loomian Legacy viability. Probably gonna do that. I'm probably gonna do this as my last change, if it would do it. Yeah, so this is my last change. In the order, I think it's Venolin, Zephalin, Bozolan, Kirolan, Zephalin, Servolin, Gwendolyn, and Vari. I think those are the useful ones. Venolin's just really good in general. Alright, that's definitely been the end of this video. Hope you did enjoy. And if you want to see me rank another, like, another of these guys in the future, like if any of them get buffs, or like when all the Varis are added, I rank all of them again, I will. Anyway, guys, that's going to be the end, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.